It's Monday the 26th of September 1960. In 43 days, American voters will elect their 35th president. It will be either Republican Vice President Richard Nixon or Democratic Senator John F. Kennedy. And on this night, at the CBS studio in Chicago, before an estimated audience of 70 million, the two men are about to take part in the first ever televised debate between presidential nominees. At 43, Kennedy is one of the youngest men ever to run for the White House. And despite 8 years as deputy to President Eisenhower, Nixon is still just 47.
The candidates need no introduction. The Republican candidate, Vice President Richard M. Nixon.
There's a story behind Nixon's taut expression and rather sickly pallor. He's in pain.
A very important campaign issue.
Weeks earlier, he'd been hospitalised after injuring his left knee getting out of a limousine. It triggered septic arthritis, and arriving at the debate studio, he'd banged the same knee on another car door.
Okay, right at the camera here.
The producer of the debate, Don Hewitt, greeted the candidates together and asked if they'd like makeup. Kennedy said no. So did Nixon. But in their separate dressing rooms, Kennedy's advisors convinced him to get made up. Nixon's staff could only get him to apply a powder designed to cover up a 5 o'clock shadow called Lazy Shave. It was a bad move. Under the hot studio lights, as Nixon began to sweat, the powder turned to sludge.
I have no comeback.
The next question.
Nixon wore a drab grey suit that got lost in the background. His shirt collar ill-fitting after his weight loss in hospital. Longer shots revealed his left leg raised in discomfort. The combined effect was sweaty, shifty and awkward. Kennedy's advance team had looked at the studio set the day before and selected a dark suit and tie to stand out and a blue shirt to cut down on glare.
I'm not satisfied until every American enjoys his full constitutional rights.
For many Americans, it was the first time they'd seen Jack Kennedy, and he looked like a movie star.
I don't want the talents of any American to go to waste.
His healthy glow helped by weeks of campaigning in open-top convertibles. Yet John F. Kennedy was also a very sick man. His campaign denied it, but Kennedy had been diagnosed with Addison's disease of the adrenal gland, which had nearly killed him and discoloured his skin, giving the appearance of a tan, his thyroidal eyes bulging slightly, as he also endured constant pain from a spinal injury suffered playing football at college and aggravated during the Second World War. He'd again nearly died during one of the many surgeries to try and fix his back, and he wore a brace to support his spine. Kennedy was also heavily medicated on steroids, opioids, testosterone, tranquilizers and amphetamines. But none of that was apparent on this night in Chicago in 1960.
Only you can decide what you want this country to be, what you want to do with the future. I think we're ready to move.
Polls of television viewers showed Kennedy was the clear debate winner. A poll of people who only listened on the radio gave the debate to Nixon. It's a fact that's often put down to Kennedy's appearance and the power of television, although it probably had as much to do with the poll being of older people who still listened to radio in 1960 being more conservative and comfortable with Nixon.
My congratulations to Senator Kennedy for his fine race in this campaign, and to all of you.
The outstanding personality of the year, John Kennedy, is elected to America's greatest political office.
Kennedy, of course, would go on to win the election on November the 8th, but 3 years later, he would be dead.
Two priests who were with President Kennedy say he is dead.
Again, riding in a convertible in Dallas, the back brace propping him up after the first non-fatal shot instead of allowing him to slump to the floor, giving his assassin a clear second shot, which ended President Kennedy's life.